Hello everyone. My apologies, but today isn't going to be a regular video. The events of the past week, and really the past 2 weeks, have had quite an effect on me. It feels like we're in a low point for humanity. I'm not here to talk about any of the particular events that have happened or the issues that are ongoing, but what I do want to talk about is why we're here, why we're doing this channel, and why we're trying to promote spaceflight so much. Why space? It's been such an important question that we've asked many guests in the past. Why space? Why are we doing this? Well, I can't speak for everyone in the TMRO crew. I can only speak for myself. And I've believed for a long time that spaceflight is the most noble human endeavor, the most noble human activity. I believe that it is the most important thing that we should be pursuing on this planet. Our survival literally depends on it. Yes, technology has had an amazing effect on our lives and has made things so convenient and simple, and at the same time, so complex and more opportunities than ever in all directions. I can't help but wonder many times whether or not the Earth is not only alive, but also intelligent in some way, and that we, humanity, our purpose, despite all the destruction that we have caused here, are actually some sort of defense mechanism for the Earth. And what I mean by that is protecting us from space rocks. It may not seem like much of a priority now, but I believe that one of the major points of having a space program is to be able to identify potentially hazardous asteroids and do something about them. We might still only be in the early stages of being able to deflect asteroids and protect us from extinction level events. And it's not just us, it's protecting all life on this planet, protecting the planet itself. To me, that's probably the most important. But beyond that, the other awesome, important benefit of having a space program is that it brings people together and inspires the world. Although being a spaceflight fan might be a minority group, everyone loves spaceflight. Every country on Earth wants to participate in spaceflight in some way. It may sound very kumbaya and naive and wishful thinking, but I've personally witnessed how spaceflight brings people together of all nationalities, races, ethnicities, religions. It brings everyone together. There's been lots of discussions lately about soft power and how a nation that achieves spaceflight milestones has a form of diplomatic power. And it's not a evil power, it's an influential power for good. Yes, lots of technology within spaceflight can be used for weapons, but the same can be said for literally everything. I guess that's just the curse of our nature, the duality of humankind. And seeing that duality on full display over the past few weeks has been, well, depressing to say the least. Seeing old partnerships crumble away and opportunities that existed just a couple of years ago no longer possible because of our duality, because of human nature, it's been rough. A sentiment that I resonate with is that it's hard to be a spaceflight fan right now because of so many reasons. And it's all dumb political and geopolitical nonsense. It's not nonsense, but that's how I want to treat it, is as nonsense, and it's not. It's hard to ignore upsetting things outside of the space industry when it has an impact. It feels like we're seconds to midnight and that World War III could break out at any moment. It seems like there are so many countries right now, not just the United States, but all over the world, where the people are divided against each other. Everyone's fighting each other. There's not a lot that we can agree on and get along with each other about. And yet, despite everything that's going on, I still believe that spaceflight might be one of those things, one of those few things that we can all agree on and get along with and maybe participate with each other. It's just cool. And if you or your nation or your company can achieve milestones in spaceflight, it brings a lot of prestige. It brings a lot of inspiration. It motivates so many people to keep moving forward and to build something better, not just for spaceflight, but for everything. It applies to everything. That inspiration is priceless. Things aren't going to be resolved overnight, and I certainly don't have the answers to the problems that are plaguing all of our societies. All I know is that for myself, I continue to be inspired by spaceflight. Despite all the political stuff going on and baggage that's attached to certain things, I'm still inspired by it. I still root and support for this, with the full knowledge that I personally will probably never be able to actually participate in it. If I'm lucky, I'll maybe be able to participate in a CubeSat project someday. I'm probably not ever going to space. I'm probably not ever going to go to the moon or to Mars or anywhere other than this planet. And yet I still believe that this is the most important and most noble thing that humanity can be doing. And honestly, hot take here, but I believe that we need to be terraforming the solar system everywhere. Even if we do discover life somewhere, if we discover some bacteria or something on Mars or one of the moons of Jupiter that we are eyeing as a potential space colony, I'm not saying that we wipe out that bacteria. I'm saying that we, as the apex predators that we are, who love to mess with ecosystems, I mean, every single day we're coming across ecosystems that haven't been disturbed for, in some cases, millions of years. And in our arrogance, we decide a parking lot would look good there. I like to think that we have been given gifts and abilities to be able to manipulate ecosystems however we wish. And we've been abusing that power in certain circumstances. But when it comes to terraforming, even if there is other life there, why would we not want to make the ecosystem better and allow whatever native bacteria that we find there to thrive under better conditions? And if there is no bacteria, if there is no life on other planets in our solar system, then it's free real estate. Let's turn those places into paradises. I want to be one of those old men who plant trees fully knowing that I will never enjoy the shade from those trees. And I'm okay with that. That's the purpose of my generation, I think. All of us that are alive right now, our purpose is to just get it started and get it going and build something and have a little bit of a foundation for the next generations to build upon and make better. We have the technology, and even if a small minority, we have the will. And how much of a better world would we live in if instead of investing trillions of dollars on weapons and war and political movements, instead of doing that, what if we invested trillions into spaceflight? I mean, we're talking hundreds of thousands, millions, possibly billions if everyone got on board of this in manufacturing jobs. There's a lot of components, and I would love to work on a factory that I'm just making one little component or even just one little aerospace grade nuts and bolts screws that are used on satellites or some other component. I would love that. I know lots of people would. Lots of people would love to have something stable like that and wouldn't even care that it's aerospace related. But if that's where we focused our energies on a macro scale, what sort of amazing world would we live in? What sort of crazy technologies, if we started right now, would we have in just 10 years, in just 5 years? We're always going to have disagreements. We're always going to disagree on the finer details of everything. It's inevitable, and unfortunately, it's in our nature. We just gotta talk it out. And we have to be willing to step outside of ourselves and think about what's best for our communities, for our families, for our nations, for our regions, for our planet, for our species, and for all life that we share this planet with. If we do succeed in colonizing space, do you think we're going to go alone? No. We're going to be taking our plants with us, and our animals with us, and our pets with us. We're going to be taking our ecosystems with us. We're going to find an empty spot in space in one of the Lagrange points around any of the objects in our solar system and think to ourselves, a space parking lot would look great there. And we're going to bring with us all of the air and soil and animals and things that we want to live and survive so that we can have those giant O'Neill cylinders where people live and die in space. There's no need for us to be fighting over resources or space on this tiny rock that we're on, this tiny, enormous rock that can support billions of us and isn't overpopulated yet. There will be no overpopulation problem if we can just get out into space and start building space colonies. We don't even have to start settling on the planets. We don't have to make a lunar colony or a Martian colony, although both would be awesome. We can just start building incredibly huge structures that could support thousands, millions, maybe even a billion people per cylinder. We have the technology. We have the resources already. And just getting out into space a little bit. There's infinite resources right here. It would take us millions of years just to mine and harvest the main asteroid belt in our solar system. Just the one in between Mars and Jupiter. We could go on forever. And maybe it isn't even humanity's destiny to be the ones that populates the stars and reshapes planets into the perfect ecosystem for life to thrive. But maybe it is our destiny to prepare the way for other life. If we're not alone in the universe, we need to get out there and figure out how to make contact and make some friends. If we are alone in the universe, maybe it's our job to prepare the way for more life to exist and thrive. I fully realize that I sound like a naive teenager. Blame it on Star Trek: The Next Generation that I was raised on. I still truly believe, though, that there is a path through spaceflight for us all to get along and work together and work towards a common goal and for the common good of all, for all mankind, but also for all life. I still believe that spaceflight is the thing that can bring us all together. I still believe that we should be cooperating with everyone. I still believe that we should have some sort of bare minimum between the United States and China. Like, if we're both going to the moon, can we at least talk about the potential of doing rescue missions in case either have emergencies at their various bases? I would like to have that as an option. Despite everything else that's going on, if something happens at the Chinese base and they need rescued, you bet your ass I want to be able to go and save those taikonauts. And if something happens at an American lunar base or a European lunar base, hopefully we're all working together and have one international base. If something happens there and the astronauts are in danger, you bet your ass I am okay with China saving them. Can we at least have that? Now, the other side of this whole conversation, still being enthusiastic about spaceflight, is the desire to just not want to be on this planet anymore. And it's really hard to not fall into that sentiment. Not gonna lie, I've felt both ways. Of just throwing up my hands, saying it's not worth saving and I don't want to be on this planet anymore. But honestly, thinking that way is unhealthy and it's too negative, and I don't want to be that way. So despite it being hard sometimes and having to dig deep sometimes to find the good and the positive, I almost feel like I have no choice. It's either that or wallow in misery. And so even if I have to dig deep, and forgive me if I'm being too emotional about this, even if I have to dig deep to find that spark of inspiration to keep me going, it's there. That spark is still there. That fire never went out. It might not be burning very bright right now, but it's still there. So anyway, sorry I don't have more exciting news for you. There's lots of things going on in the space industry, as there always is. We'll be talking about some of those things on our live show. Jared is going to have quite a bit to say about the potential biosignature found on Mars. I guess I just wanted to share my feelings with you guys today, and I apologize if that's not normally what you're looking for. But just wanted to reaffirm my belief that spaceflight is the most important thing that we should be doing, and is the thing that can bring us all together, and as hippy-dippy as it sounds, can be the thing that could lead to world peace, and for all of us to thrive. I might be naive. I would rather hold on to naive beliefs like that than fall into misery and hopelessness and to give up. So if you made it this far, thank you very much for watching. Thank you for being such an awesome community here at TMRO. We might disagree with each other sometimes, but 99.9% of all interactions that we have here are usually positive. And thank you. Thank you to everyone who has been watching and supporting us and adding to the conversation about one of the coolest things that we as a species are doing on this planet. It might be very hard, but spaceflight is one of those things that are worth doing and worth talking about. Thank you again. Keep moving onwards and upwards, everybody. And don't forget, per aspera ad astra.